Welcome to another episode of Full Circle with me, Onyx. And oh my gosh, there's like so much going on. And I've kind of thought it would be a great idea to bring in some of my personality, some of my actual life events. Like, we're here, we're real, this is happening. Uh, and then, some mystical, awesome stuff, maybe some sharing slash teaching. Uh, but yeah, welcome to my channel. And there's really so much going on because it's like, I want to talk about love, but then I also want to talk about just channeling and being connected to spirit. And then I also want to talk about astrology and navigating your chart. And I want to talk about it all at the same time. So it's a little bit of a traffic jam. But, and the word that really sticks out in my mind is self actualization versus self realization. And then I want to just kind of throw that on the back burner because I feel like, okay, we're just going with it. So we're going to, I'm going to teach you or show you how to change your life, like literally right now. And it's not like corporate self-help guru trying to make money. It's just something I've been playing with. The more I awaken, realize myself, and actualize that into existence, I'm becoming more self-aware and aware that the way I treat others opens and closes doors of energy flow. So, and when doors get closed, it literally suffocates. It closes out opportunities like a raise. It closes off opportunities like a new career. It closes off opportunities like getting the boyfriend that I want or should be in my life. And so, if you've ever heard of the I Ching, the Book of Change, the famous Asian Chinese divination system, I remember it talking about knowing when the way is open and knowing when the way is closed. And that stuck in my mind. I might have got that from the Tao Te Ching, the 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 Taoist text. Um, but it applies so much because the I Ching is broken up into yin and yang bars. Some are broken, the yin, and some are solid, the yang. And knowing when they're going to change, uh, there's a certain, when it hits maximum yang, then it starts to create a hidden trigram or hidden hexagram. And they're called trigrams and hexagrams, and we don't need to get into all the details, but basically there's a way of figuring out when something is at maximum yang and maximum yin, and when something, and it's gonna flip into the other one. And part of that is knowing, like, so the gate is closed, I would say, with yang energy, and it's closed and it's closed, and then it hits maximum. Now you know the gate's going to open. And then when it's open, it flips to yin, and it's open and it's open until it's at maximum yin, and then it's completely closed again. And so understanding there's an ebb and flow of how you're actually interacting with everyone. And it's like, how is this possible? If we're all one, then what you do to someone else, you do to yourself. And in psychology, we kind of go, hey, life is a mirror and we're projecting. So if you want to change the world, start with you. And that can be very empowering, you know. Stay in your own frame, stay in your own lane is another way to say, hey, it's time to start tuning in and becoming self aware of and acknowledging the way you're vibrating affects your environment and other people. But the way you interact with people also affects future events. And in a very simplistic way, we try to understand it as karma. But in the way I'm experiencing it, is the door is open or the door is closed. And the only person who opens and closes these doors is actually myself. This is the self-awareness, the self-actualization that is simultaneously with self-realization. So I'm looking at a potentially negative situation that's trying to manifest. It's kind of manifesting and then dissolving, and manifesting and dissolving. It's edging closer and it's moving back. This is a very interesting karmic situation that's being played out. And I'm aware enough that there's a part of me that gets to be an observer, witness mode slash God mode and kind of make micro adjustments. So it's like learning how to surf in a way. It's sensing the ebb and flow. And I was like, you know what? So I'm kind of exploring dating. And in my mind, you stick with one person. I have some very old fashioned Taurus programming from, I guess, my family and Jupiter right on the edge at 0 degrees Taurus. Um, it's probably like so many seconds in. And I didn't realize this about myself. I have this traditional programming along with my futuristic, exploratory, scientific, free spirit, creative self. So there's a lot going on. But I was, I feel like it's wrong to date multiple people when actually it makes sense. Date a few people, let's see how they act and behave, and then through some interactions, you figure out their values and beliefs. Then you choose the one that's most in alignment and most consistent. Duh. Very practical. And what did that have to do with open and close? So, one of them showed me some negative characteristics. And that negativity, it was just the way I reacted. He was being his authentic, passionate self, but it was like a lot. And the way I interpreted that was too aggressive. So, my natural instinctual reaction is usually repulsion. That's the first negative, that's like my strongest negative feeling I respond with is repulsion, push away. And so I was pretty straightforward in a text, and then I blocked him for a while. And I had to let go of that. The way I get over things or learn and grow is I need space, I need to relax, and then slowly come back around on my own terms and test the water again. And so I was like, I really was like, I feel bad. Like he was coming with an open heart, just very passionate towards me, and I just like slammed the door in his face. And I was like, is that my true, authentic nature? Is that my inner brilliant shining through, or is that my ego? Is that my fear programmings? Is that historical way of dealing with things? And I was like, I don't even know, but let's let go. This is too complicated already. So I waited until I felt good. Then I was like, honestly, where I'm at in my life, I realize, bro, the train is going downhill. And that downhill ride is going through the gates of death and the other world. So it's like you did what you wanted to do growing up. I've seen the world. I was in a career that I chose. I loved it. I did it for 20 years. So now, time for that character to get off the stage and you become this new character called adult. This new character. And it's already there. It just gets to take more of it's now needed. It's like and it's like how do you want to go? And it's like it's not even how you want to be remembered. It's how do you wish to feel? How do you wish to interact with life? And so I sent an apology text to I unblocked him, sent an apology text, and then I like left it up to the universe. And on so forgiveness, going back and forgiving people actually opens up the doors to abundance and wealth. So you're wondering why the doors are closed. These energetic doors that seem to mysteriously open and close. I'm telling you, I've learned to pry those doors open with a little bit of forgiveness grease. W40 called forgiveness. So, and so it's like, have a little treat for yourself, do a little self care, then look inside yourself and think about these people. Are you not returning to love? Are you not returning? What is love? It doesn't mean you have to spend time with them. It it doesn't mean that you have to say I'm sorry. It doesn't mean that you have to give gifts and beg for forgiveness and do the whole martyr thing. That's not love. It's coming back to balance, realizing that you can never be separate. On some level, you've had an exchange. And because of that exchange, you've connected a cord that will never break, kinda. Because I'm going to tell you also something very opposite to that. So it's just like, okay, let's accept the fact that we are connected to people and situations that we maybe don't like. We're uncomfortable, we're resisting, we feel the pain, we want to get out of it, and we view it as very negative. That experience was negative. And, maybe we wrote a story about it and whatever, but at the end of the day, how do you want to feel? Maybe even not about the situation. How do you want to feel? I want to feel empowered. So I choose forgiveness. I choose love. So I choose acceptance. I choose to come back around to it at my own time. So today was like a day of apologies. I decided to quit my job and put in my 2 weeks notice because I need a change. And one of my coworkers who I've been fighting with the whole time, we started opening up and she came to tell me her concerns and I told her, I was like, you know what, give it up. Let's just chill out and relax because I've given my 2 weeks notice and let's just chill out for 2 weeks, okay? And she looked a little surprised because she didn't see this side of me. I'm like, yeah, I'm actually really easygoing. I so that opened the door. I had to open the door inside myself. I had to be vulnerable. I had to be more authentic, not be strong, not have the armoring. We have armoring that's internal, and we have armor that's external. So I would say the behaviors you use to create distance and safety, protection, bolster an identity, that's all external. The inner ones would be maybe you feeling a certain way, about something. So you choose internally to kind of withdraw your energy, or, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to interact with, like, you're making this choice on the inside. It just feels like more an internal effort. That would be like internal armoring, pride. It would be could be a very internal. So it's like you're doing these actions, but it's all inward. So that would be like internal armoring, internal resistance. So not calling back, ghosting someone, um, not speaking your truth, avoiding certain people and situations, fear of getting hurt, basically, or being seen for your supposed weaknesses that you're judging and shaming and guilting yourself over, blaming, whatever. That's all kind of internal stuff instead of exposing it. So today was like a huge day of forgiveness. And so we talked it out. After I let her know that I want peace for 2 weeks and I'm out of here, so we don't need to make things a big deal, that created space. It kind of opened a door. And then we talked. Then I got to apologize, and I was like, you know what? I blew up on you a few times really intensely. And all that energy was my stuff that I absorbed through the whole store and for years. And so I really just used that as an opportunity to explode. And then she's like, yeah, I kind of figured that. And I was like, I just need to formally apologize. And so I did that because I need to, at the end of the day, you live with yourself. You look at yourself in the mirror. You have to sleep at night. If you're like you judge yourself. So for my own well-being, for my own self-love, I've always liked to come back to good, come back to neutral, come back to peace. That's always been my nature. And so if I'm not being brave, courageous, going and apologizing, admitting what I was wrong, telling the truth, had nothing to do with what's socially acceptable and the morality that's being promoted in our society right now. It had everything to do with me, my inner values, my inner ethics, what I've chosen to adopt and own as mine. So I did it for my own well-being so I could sleep. But also what that does is it opened up doors. So it's been brought to my attention that I'm quite negative at work and everyone's not liking working with me. And I was like, but you guys don't realize I'm also absorbing all your negativity and all the negativity of the customers. So that's weighing down on me. It's hard to put on a plastic smile to make you guys feel better about yourselves. And I just basically told them that. And I was like, everyone can just stop projecting onto me their crap because they feel uncomfortable. And so that was a truth. But the other truth was, yeah, it's time to unload and let's do some forgiveness therapy. So so that worked. Then I went home, and these people who I'm just very casually, very lightly engaging in conversation, and for me that's dating. So there's no promises and there's no energetic violations. Like, I'm not sleeping with one person and dating another person and sleeping with them or anything like that. That to me is a whole different ballgame, and I don't do that. I think you should select the person before you're doing all that. So, um, so I feel like long as they're all on equal ground and you're not like, I have my own rule system that I need to hold myself to. So in my own mind, I'm still at the ethical level. But, that person who I blocked, when I wrote him that text, he obviously forgave me and so he's back into the circle of possibilities. And once again, that opens up a door. So so in a weird way, you go back in time to heal your present future. So there's actually bigger, darker event going on in my life. For me, I consider it big, dark. For someone else, it's like, that's nothing. You'll recover in a few months, big deal. You know, uh, so it's only a perception in my mind. So by going back in time, kind of, from and starting to forgive, create closure, or open up and create a harmonious balance of connection, that frees up energy for you to then raise your vibration, is another term. It then opens up the door in a different way. And so how you receive a negative experience can be transmuted through the process of healing relationships. We're all energy, we're all consciousness, we're all one. So, literally, forgiveness is a way of changing energy. It's magic. Like, you don't have to have a religious belief about forgiveness. You can go, this is science. This is manipulation of energy. I don't need a mystical symbol. I don't need a ritual. The ritual is actually going to the person, using your own voice, saying it with your own face. So sometimes I'll make statements on my Instagram, and I will write it right over the top of my picture, and I'll post it. And what I'm saying is, I endorse what I'm saying. I stand behind what I believe. My opinion, my judgment, whether it's positive or negative, I'm willing not to quote someone else. I'm willing to put my thoughts out there and then back it up with myself. So it's a way of being authentic and accountable. And who do I need to be authentic and accountable with? Myself. Not my ego self, which a lot of people have demonstrated. They will just take spiritual concepts and twist it in favor of their ego. But it's a deeper self. It's you is just a network of energy connected to the universe. So I'm looking at this potential negative situation, and I'm already saying, how can I just transform it? That's a whole different energy than saying I'm going to resist it. And it's like the Wheel of Fortune card. You might be working on something, but it has to go through cycles of moods, cycles of thoughts. Like we cycle. We're like, okay, I don't like this person, or I don't like that thing. Okay, now I do. Oh, what was I thinking? We change our mind. We go through cycles. And our feelings about it also change. And so through time, we can look at something through many different lenses and cycle or process a situation. And while you're doing that, you can also gain insights. So everything that happens to you is a gift, no matter how bad it is. So you're going to die. Yeah, that's a gift. Do you really want to be in the same program forever? Is that really living, watching the same video of yourself over and over and over again? Or would you like a different story? Would you like a different reality with a different set of physics to work with? So that's a thing. So you're in charge of your own personal transformation. And so I'm just saying, forgiveness is really powerful. And it's a way of liberating yourself. So we talk about detachment. In a weird way, you can't detach unless you forgive. So I guess we're going into cord cuttings. You can't really sever a cord in a negative way. Like, I'm going to be strong and raise a psychic shield, and I'm going to go to a practitioner, and they're going to do a ritual cord cutting. Yeah and no. Love and forgiveness cuts the cords. Love and forgiveness, then, in a weird way, then you don't need the cord cut, but it cuts anyways. You can't really leave a situation feeling negative. It always draws you back. It's a strong magnet and keeps you locked in. So if you can truly release it, so it's not put the value scale back in order. Some people overvalue things, and so it doesn't go away. We see it as a mountain. We get more scared, more resistant. We put more energy behind it. That creates a stronger magnet. So what you resist persists. What you resist, you're actually adding energy to. So you're giving them your power. So it's almost like opposite. You surrender and open. But if you surrender and open, you expand. And then it's like a garden hose. You can twist it up and then the water doesn't flow. You twisting it up is you getting angry. You twisting it up is feeling like you need to be assertive and defend yourself and be brave. Women's rights, transgender rights, um, gay rights, or a strong yes and a strong no. We can actually then twist up the garden hose and not realize it. And it creates a lot of pressure, and we feel that pressure, and we're like, wow, we're getting charged. And then the hose explodes, and then it's not functioning right. Then we have a mess, we have a breakdown, or it didn't happen the way we wanted. And it's like, no, learn to relax, untwist the hose, let it flow through. And the event, the more you accept it, the more the event actually dissolves. The more you're willing to work with it, it actually dissolves. So I'm in a really weird situation where I don't know how to trust very well. So the universe has given me a very mysterious situation that's actually forcing me to trust. And I'll go through moments of total resistance and fear, and then I'll go to moments of surrender, and I don't know if I'm doing it right. I'm like, I'm trusting and it feels good, but now I'm super scared because I've never trusted like this before. So then I go back to super resistance. I'm like, that feels safe and I feel right, and everyone telling me this is wrong. And so this is one of those situations where you have to use your own intuition, character on stage. You're the hero of your own story. Like, you just can't keep another person's opinion. Truth is based on their perspective. It will always be different. The benefit is it's a different perspective. The drawback is it's a different perspective. The reality of it is it's always up to you. And so as I work with this situation, I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's infinite doors. Maybe there's many possibilities of this outcome. Maybe it's a yes and a no and something unexpected. So let's play with it. So instead of using a hostile, aggressive language during these negotiations, let's use a little more kindness, a little bit more open, a little bit more flexibility. And instead of having to have an answer now and forcing it, let's kind of do the opposite and relax and give it time, kind of let it draw itself out. Let the truth be revealed in time. And so that's what I'm doing. And I'm living my life. I'm living my story. I'm facing my challenges. I'm not, and then I'm alive. And it's giving me energy. And I'm growing. And whatever the outcome, it doesn't matter because I've grown through the experience. So I'm not going to shortchange myself and keep referencing the past me. During the ordeal that the hero must go through, it changes him. So it's really poor. I don't have enough information on it, so I guess I can't exactly use it. Let's just say the ordeal was maybe I'm fighting a psychic, or I'm fighting a vampire in a mystical world, and the vampire bites me and it poisons my blood and I get sick. But then the vampire venom kind of makes me into a hybrid. So then I gain a power. And so I'm still me, but then I get these underworld vampire powers, and it makes me stronger and it gives me new abilities, new skill sets, but then it also maybe weakens me towards the sun. So you'll go through an ordeal and it changes you. And that's a gift. So every hardship blesses you. Every challenge blesses you. And when you realize that, you can't ever be a victim anymore. You're the hero of your own story. It's always an empowerment. So, so in a weird way, then everyone is serving you. So you might as well say thank you to the biggest challenges of your life. But then realize they're really big challenges. So you just don't eat the whole elephant at once. It's bit by bit. It might take you a few years, it might take you a lifetime to resolve a personal challenge that is gifted to you from the universe. And you're like, what? And it's like, yeah, it's like that big. So that's what I'm saying. Forgiveness opens doors. Being open-minded, seeing the gift in the hardship, and it's like doing a 180. It's like I I see it as you're looking at your shadow. The sun is like behind you. You think it's like behind you. You see your shadow on the cement, and you're always looking at your shadow. And that shadow is your history and what you know about yourself. That will always be what you know. So you're like, I know so and so lied to me. I know I went through this as a child. I know all these facts as of presently, what you think is the present. And and then we use that to try to walk backwards, to try to walk forward in our life. And we keep going, well, we're using all the shadow, we're using all the old history to navigate the future present of infinite possibilities. But you don't know, because you have to learn to turn around and face the 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 future, which is infinite possibilities. You have to learn to turn yourself around.